everybody, and welcome to the channel. We got the third game of a three-game series here against the New York Yankees and Baltimore Orioles. And the Yankees have taken the first two. Can the Orioles come back and win one game here in their hometown?
Lazary.
And let's take a look at the New York Yankees starting lineup. Leading off, playing second base, Tony Lazzari. Batting second, playing shortstop, Phil Rizzuto. Batting third, playing left field, Mr. Baltimore himself, Babe Ruth. Batting fourth, playing right field, Mickey Mantle. Batting fifth, playing first base, Lou Gehrig. Batting sixth, playing center field, Joe DiMaggio. Batting seventh and doing the catching, Yogi Berra. Batting eighth, playing third base, Red Wolf. And on the mound, doing the pitching is Jack CHESBRO. We're going to have the battle of the Jacks here today. And the starting lineup for the hometown Orioles has Baby Doll Jacobson leading off, playing center field. Batting second and playing right field, Harry Rice. Batting third, playing first base, George Sisler. Batting fourth, playing left field, Ken Williams. Batting fifth, playing third base, Horland Cliff. Batting sixth, doing the catching, Hank Severide. Batting seventh, playing second base, Marty McManus. Batting eighth, playing shortstop, Bobby Wallace. And like I said, the battle of the Jacks. Batting ninth and pitching, Jack Powell for the Orioles. Let's get down here to Baltimore and get this game started. And the team comparisons, the Yankees are 10-5. They've struck out 103 times, walked 85, hit 38 doubles, 12 triples. Orioles are 6-10, struck out 50 times, walked 58 times, hit 59 doubles and 16 triples. To lead it off here for the Yankees is Tony. Tony's batting .286, 3 homers and 5 RBIs, going up against Jack Powell, his fourth start of the year. He's 0-3 with a 6.86 ERA. Here's the pitch to Tony, and that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes him out for out number one. One up and one down here for New York. Brings up Phil Rizzuto now, batting .196 with 2 homers and 7 RBIs. And that's going to be a base on balls. And Phil trots on down the first. That's something he's done excellent this year. Let's take a look here. Phil's on base percentage is .348, folks. He has walked 13 times this year to get on base ahead of Babe Herman Ruth. And now you got Babe up, and Babe is batting .327 on the year. He's got 8 homers and 15 RBIs. Here's the pitch for Bambino, and that ball is high, that ball is far, and that ball is gone. And Phil Rizzuto getting a walk doesn't help. Yankees up 2-0. And Mr. Baltimore delivers for the Yankees. These seats can get warm. Yankees have had a lead in every game in the first inning. And Mickey's up now, batting .172, 3 homers and 10 RBIs. And Mick's going to ground that ball down the short. Wallace has got it for out number 2. And that brings up Lou Gehrig now. And Lou's batting .426, 9 homers and 16 RBIs. And that's going to be a fly ball out to center field. But Babe Ruth home run makes it 2. Yankees 2. Orioles coming to the plate with Jacobson, Rice, and Sisler. Baby Doll's batting .288 on the year, 2 homers and 6 RBIs, going up against Jack CHESBRO, his fourth start. He's 2-1 with a 3.75 ERA. Here's the pitch to Baby Doll. And that's going to be a base on ball. It's not what the Yankees want to see, walking Baby Doll. So he's down at first with nobody out. And a tying run comes to the plate, and Harry Rice. Rice batting .244 on the year. And they're going to try hit and run here, try to stay out of the double play. And that's going to be a 15 on a hit and run. And that's going to be a, let's see here, 15, and Mick is a, that is, it's going to be a catcher to second. He pounds that ball into the dirt. And let's see here. Let's read this. Hit and run. So that's a caught stolen base. That's a ball one. And Jacobson gets thrown out. So now there's one out and nobody on as Rice can't make contact. And now it's one out, 1-0 pitch. That's going to be a fly ball out to Babe. He makes the catch for out number 2. And George Sisler's up now. And George is batting .217 with no homers and 9 RBI. And that's going to be a fly ball out to left. And the leadoff walk gets thrown out to second. And the Orioles go down 1-2-3 after that. And we go to the top of the second. It's 2-0 New York. As you can see, the Yankees have scored 84 runs, hit 47 homers, 5 stolen bases. And the Orioles have scored 78 runs on 10 homers, 1 stolen base, and 1 caught stealing. And Joe DiMaggio's up batting .269 with 4 homers and 10 RBI. And that's going to be a 18, a fly ball. And the center field, Baby Doll makes the catch for out number 1. And Yogi's up now. And Yogi's batting .200 on the year with a homer and 7 RBI. And that's going to be a fly ball out to left field. Williams makes the catch, 2 fly balls, 2 outs, and Red's up. He gets something going here with 2 outs. Red hitting .200, no homers and 6 RBI. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. The Yankees go down in order. So Powell settled down after the first, and down to the bottom of the second, we got Williams, Clift, and Severide due up. Ken's batting .310 on the year. He's got 2 homers and 10 RBI, and that's going to be a base on ball. So again, Jack walks the leadoff batter, and that brings up Clift. And they're not going to hit and run this time. They're going to let Cliff swing way regular. And that pays off, folks, because that ball is high. That ball is far. How far is this one going to go is the question. 24. And that ball is out of here, folks. Cliff just tied this ball game up with a 2-run homer of his own. The second home run of the game. It's 2-2. Still nobody out here. And Hank's up. Severide's batting .250 on the year. No homers and 3 RBI. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. So Jack bounces back after the homer for out number 1. McManus is up now. And Marty's batting .212. No homers and 8 RBIs. And that's going to be another base on balls, and they just keep on coming. That's 3 walks in 2 innings. One's already came across. That brings up Bobby Wallace now batting .241 with no homers and 2 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball back to the mound. Nope, that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes him out. So 2 strikeouts in the inning to go with a walk and a homer. Brings up Jack Powell, and Powell's batting .167 on the year, no homers and no RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Tony. Fires over to first, but the 2-run homer by Clift ties this game up. We go to the top of the third, 2-2. And Jack CHESBRO will lead it off for the Yankees, followed by Tony and Phil. Jack batting .111, no homers and no RBIs. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes Jack out. That's his 3rd strikeout of the game. Back to the top of the order, and he struck Tony out his first time up. Here's the pitch to him. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Ken Williams. 2 quick outs here in the third. And Phil Rizzuto walked and came around to score on the Ruth homer. And that's going to be a ground ball down the Sisler. He calls off Jack, takes it himself, and 1, 2, 3 goes to Yanks. To the bottom of the third we go. Top of the order due up here for the Orioles. Jacobson, Rice, and Sisler. Baby Doll walked and got caught stealing his first time up. And that's going to be a fly ball out to DiMaggio in center for out number 1. Here comes Rice up now. And Rice is 0 for 1. He flew out the left his first time up. And that's going to be another base on balls. That's the 4th walk of the game by Jack. George Sisler's up now. So the go-ahead runs down at first. Sisler flew out the left his first time up. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. That should be fielding column 1. And it is. And they'll get the lead runner Rice out at second. Throw over to first. George beats it. And now there's 2 outs. Ken Williams up with George down at first. And Ken walked his first time up and came around the score. And that's going to be a 23 and an 11. And that's going to be a base hit in the right field. 2 outs here. Let's see here if George makes it down the third. Okay. With 2 outs, that'll be a 50. And a 31. So he's headed to third. A 61 or lower, he's safe. And he's thrown out. Mickey Mantle with the gun out there in right field. Throws him out at third, folks. So that'll end the inning. Williams with a single, and George gets thrown out trying to go to third. Mickey Mantle guns him down. So we go to the top of the 4th. It's still 2-2. You've got the big boys due up here, Ruth, Mantle, and Gehrig. Ruth homered his first time up. Here's the pitch to Babe. And that's going to be a base on balls. So Ruth walks on down the first. That brings up Mick, and he make him pay for walking him. He's off to a slow start this year. He grounded out the shortest first time up. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. They strike the Mick out for out number 1. Here comes Lou Gehrig up now. And Lou flew out the center his first time up. And that's going to be a double in the... Make sure here. He doesn't have an L. Nope, that's going to be a double in right field for Lou. And let's see here with 1 out. Babe probably going to stay put. 42, is that what it is? Yep. So a 42 minus a 29 plus a 15. Babe's going to give it a try here. A 28. That is a 54 or lower. And Babe's in there, so that's an RBI double by Lou. Gives the Yankees a 1-run lead. And the Yankees now up 3-2 with Lou down at second. And Joe's up. DiMaggio. And Joe is 0 for 1 today. He flew out the center his first time up. And that ball is cranked, folks. That ball is hit hard. How far is this one going to travel? And that ball is out of here, folks. Joe DiMaggio smashes that in the deep center field, no doubt about it. And that makes it a 5-2 ball game. Yankees with 3 runs here in the 4th. 1 out to the plate. And Yogi flew out the left his first time up. And that's going to be a rare play, a 42 on a 36. And that's going to be a foul ball, strike 1 on Yogi. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And that's going to be a ground ball down the Sisler. He takes it. And that's out number 2. So can Red get on here with 2 outs? Yankees already played it 3 runs. Red struck out his first time up. And that's going to be a fly ball out the left field. Excuse me, will end the inning, but the Gehrig double and the DiMaggio 2-run homer makes it a 5-2 ball game. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Clift, Severide, and McManus due up. Clift hit the 2-run homer back in the 2nd to tie this game up. Here's the pitch to him, and that's going to be a base on balls. That's the 5th walk by CHESBRO. He's living dangerous. So runner down at first, nobody out, and Hank Severide's up. He struck out his first time up, and that's going to be a ground ball down the short. And a nice play down there by Phil Rizzuto. Only play after knocking that ball down and saving a base hit is the throw over to first. They get Hank. Runner will get down the 2nd in the scoring position with 1 out. And Marty's up. Marty McManus is one of those 5 walks. He walked in the bottom of the 2nd. And that's going to be a 36. And that's going to be a rare play on a 55 on a 36 with a runner at 2nd. 55 and a 36 is down the shortstop. Hit down the fill. And that's going to be a nice play again by Rizzuto. He's showing the leather. Gets to that ball in deep short, fires over and gets Marty at first. Clift will get down the 3rd. So now there's 2 outs, a runner 90 feet away for Bobby Wallace. Wallace struck out his first time up. And that's going to be a ground ball down the Tony at 2nd. Let's see here. It might not be. 42 and an 8. Look at this again. 42 and an 8. And that's going to be a single. Runner scored. No, that's an out. I was looking at infield in. That's an out. Can't really say. And that'll end the inning. 4-3 put out. Looking at the wrong thing there. So now the Orioles strand 1. We go to the top of the 5th. It's still a 5-2 ball game. You got CHESBRO, and then back to the top of the order, and Tony and Phil. Jack struck out his first time up. And not this time, folks, because we don't need no stinking DH. He hits out in the right field. Rice can't get to it, plays it on the bounce, and Jack's down at first with a leadoff single. To the top of the order we go. Tony has struck out and flown out. 0 for 2 today. And that's going to be a pop-up back behind the plate, right up the chute. He makes the catch. Hank does for out number 1. Here comes Phil Rizzuto up. And Phil, he has walked once and grounded out the first. Came around the score back in the first. And that's going to be a 19. And that's going to be a fly ball out the left. Ken Williams makes the catch for out number 2. Here comes Babe Herman Ruth. And George is 1 for 1 today. He is homered in the first, walked in the 4th. And that's going to be the first time they get him out. Maybe not. That might be an error. Nope, that's going to be a hit by pitch unless he's an HB. He hits him. And the Yankees are not happy at all. They come out of the dugout, folks. They just hit Babe Herman Ruth. And even some of these fans in the stands ain't too happy about their hometown hero getting hit. That brings up Mick. Let's see if Mick can make him pay for it. He's 0 for 2 today. He is grounded out and struck out. And that's going to be another swing and a miss. Mick strikes out for the 2nd time today. And the Yankees strand 2. To the bottom of the 5th we go. Yankees with a 2-run lead. You got Powell, Jacobson, and Rice due up. And Jack's 0 for 1, grounded out the 2nd. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Ruth and left for out number 1. Up to the plate now is Jacobson. He's walked, caught stealing and flown out the center. And that's going to be a ground ball back to Jack. He fires over to first to Lou for out number 2. And now we got Rice up now with 2 outs and nobody on. He has flown out the left and walked. And that's going to be against the 23. That's going to be a swing and a miss. Jack strikes him out for out number 3. 1, 2, 3 goes the Orioles. To the top of the 6th we go. We got Gehrig, DiMaggio, and Berra due up. Lou doubled in the 4th and drove in a run and came around the score. He's 1 for 2 today, and that's going to be a base on balls. Lou trots on down the 1st. Here comes DiMaggio. He had a 2-run homer his last time up. He's 1 for 2 today. And that's going to be a ground ball down the 2nd. A 63. That should be fielding column 3. 63 on an 8. Yeah, barely fielding column 3. So fielding column 3. And the runner will get down to 2nd. Only plays over to 1st. For out number 1. And that has a runner in scoring position now for Yogi. And Yogi's 0 for 2. Flown out and grounded out. And that's going to be a fly ball out to right field. And Lou's going to stay put with 2 outs. For out number 2. And now you got Red up, and Red deliver a 2-out base hit. Give the Yankees an insurance run here. Red's 0 for 2, struck out and flown out. And that's going to be a ground ball back to the mound. And that'll end the inning. So the Yankees strand 1. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 5-2 New York. You got the 3, 4, and 5 hitters due up. Sisler, Williams, and Clift. Sisler's 0 for 2. He is grounded out and flown out. And that's going to be a 41. That's going to be a infield. 1, 9, 18, 22, 31, 36. 36 is, I think a 36 is fielding column 1. Yep, 35 or more. So that's fielding column 1. And that's going to be a nobody on. That's going to be a rare play of a 34. 34 and a 41. And that's going to be a strike 1 on Sisler. 1-0-1 pitch. And that's going to be a fly ball out to center field. Sorry, out to right field. Mick makes the catch. And that'll be out number 1. That's Baltimore's upcoming schedule. They got a 2-game series here in Baltimore against Cleveland. Then the Red Sox come to town for 2 games, and then Kansas City comes to town. Williams is 1 for 1. He's walked and singled in the 3rd. And that's going to be a ground ball down the red. He fires over to first for out number 2. And here comes the man that's driven in both runs today with a 2-run homer. And Harlan's 1 for 1. He walked his last time up. And they're going to get him to ground out to short. Rizzuto fires over to Gehrig. And that'll do it. 1, 2, 3 goes the Orioles. To the top of the 7th we go. CHESBRO followed by Lazzari and Rizzuto. Jack, because we don't need no stinking DHs. 1 for 2, singled in the 5th. And he blasts this one, folks. Let's see how far this ball is going to go. Jack's got some pop. See if he can take this one deep. Nope, that's going to be a hit in the right field. Rice gets over quickly, cuts it off. And Jack's on with a leadoff single again. And to the top of the order we go. Can they score him this time? Tony's at the plate. He's 0 for 3. He is struck out, flown out, and popped up. And not this time. That ball is high. That ball is far. Kiss it goodbye. The Yankees just scored 2 more on a home run by Tony. And it is 7-2 New York. Still nobody out here. In the top of the 7th. Powell's due up 4th. They'll give him one more base runner, and then they'll have to take him out. Rizzuto's 0 for 2. He is walked, grounded out, and flown out. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Wallace. His counterpart at short throws him out for out number 1. Here comes Babe Ruth up now. Ruth 1 for 1. He is walked and homered and been hit by a pitch in the 5th. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes Ruth out for out number 2. And here comes Mick. Let's see if Mick can get off the snide here. He's 0 for 3 today. He is grounded out and struck out twice. And that's going to be against the 19. That is going to be a base hit in the center field. Mick gets aboard here finally with 2 outs. Let's see if Mick takes off the second here. A G. When can a G steal? Alrighty, so Ruth down at first for Lou Gehrig. Lou is 1 for 2. He has an RBI double, flown out and walked. And that's going to be a base on balls, and that's going to be it for Powell. They're going to bring in, let's see, they're going to bring in Gray. He's going to come in here and pitch to DiMaggio. This Powell can't get out of this 7th inning. So Gray will come in, 1st and 2nd and 2 outs. So Sam Gray's going to come in the ball game, try to get through this inning with nobody else scoring. 1st and 2nd and 2 outs. And Joe DiMaggio's up, and Joe's already hit a 2-run homer, and he is flown out and grounded out. And that's going to be a ground ball down the 3rd. And he'll fire over to 1st for out number 3. But the Yankees scored 2 on the 2-run homer by Tony. And we made it to the 7th inning stretch, 7-2 New York. We got Severide due up, followed by Marty, and then Bobby Wallace. And Hank is 0 for 2, struck out and grounded out. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. That's Jack's 4th strikeout of the game to go with his 5 walks. And McManus is up now. And Marty's 0 for 1, walked and grounded out. And that's going to be a fly ball to DiMaggio. 2 quick outs here. And the 8th, 7th inning. And I don't know what just happened there. We'll redo that. That was supposed to be a fly ball to center, was it? Yeah, it was. And now we got Wallace due up here with 2 outs and nobody on. He struck out and grounded out. And that's going to be another swing and a miss. He strikes him out for the 2nd time. The Orioles go down in order. We go to the top of the 8th. You see the Yankees are batting .240 on the year with a .323 on base percentage and a .538 slugging and an .861 OPS. The Orioles are batting .260 on the year with a .316 on base percentage, a .627 slugging, and a .943 OPS. And we got Yogi, Red, and CHESBRO due up here. Yogi 0 for 3, flown out twice and grounded out. And that's going to be another fly ball. This one out the baby doll in center. And up to the plate now is Red with 1 out and nobody on. And Red is 0 for 3. He is struck out, flown out, and grounded out. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Wallace at short. Over to George for 2 down. Here comes the man pitching a hell of a game, a 2-hit, 2-run game, and he's 2 for 3 today, folks. And that's going to be a fly ball out the baby doll. The Yankees go down in order here in the 8th. To the bottom of the 8th we go. The pitch hitter here for Gray. And then back to the top of the order. And Jacobson and Rice. Let's see who's going to come off the bench here. And need base runners. So you're going to have Gene Robertson's going to come off the bench. Pitch hit here for Sam Gray. And Gene's batting 167 on the year, no homers and 2 RBIs. And that's going to be a fly ball. In left field, Ruth makes the catch. And that'll be out number 1. 1 up and 1 down here in the 8th. Back to the top of the order and Baby Doll. And Baby Doll is 0 for 2 with a walk, fly, flown out and grounded out. And that's going to be a base hit in the right field. So Jacobson gets aboard here with a 1-out single. And up to the plate steps Rice. And that'll get some bullpen action up. And Harry Rice is 0 for 2. He is flown out, walked, and struck out. And that's going to be 2 balls and no strikes on him. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Joe DiMaggio in center for out number 1. Out number 2. It's up to Sisler here to get some runs going here in the 8th. Sisler is 0 for 3. He's flown out twice and grounded into a fielder's choice. And that's going to be a ground ball down the Lou. And he's going to make the play by himself. And that'll end the inning. We go to the top of the 9th. We got the top of the order due up here. Let's see who's going to come out of the bullpen and pitch. You got the righties coming up. And Milt Pappas will come out of the pen. So Milt Pappas comes out and try to keep this a 5-run game. This is Milt's 7th appearance of the year, and he's 1-0 with a 4.63 ERA. And like I say, he'll have the top of the order due up here. And Tony's 1 for 4 with that homer back in the 7th, a 2-run shot. Here's the pitch to Tony, and that's going to be a fly ball out to center field. And an easy play for Jacobson for out number 1. Here comes Phil Rizzuto up now. Phil's 0 for 3. He is walked, grounded out twice, and flown out. And that's going to be another fly ball. This one out to Rice in right field. Now there's Ruth up with 2 outs and nobody on here in the 9th. And Babe is 1 for 2. He has a 2-run homer. He's walked, been hit by a pitch, and struck out. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. They strike Ruth out for the 2nd time today. That ends the inning. We go to the bottom of the 7th at 9th with a 7-2 lead is what I wanted to say. You got Williams, Clift, and Severie due up here. And that might just be it for Jack. I think Herb's going to come in and try to finish this game off. Jack's going to go 8 innings here. As Herb comes into the game. Where's her bat? So he'll be facing the 4, 5, and 6 hitter, Ken Williams. He is 1 for 2 today. He has singled, walked, and grounded out. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Tony at second. Over to first to Gehrig for out number 1. And up to the plate now is Harlan. And he's 1 for 2 with a 2-run homer back in the second. Tied this ball game up at the time. He has walked and grounded out the short. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Ruth. Orioles are down to their last out. Trailing by 5. Hank Severide's up. And Hank is 0 for 3. He struck out twice and grounded out. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Tony. Takes his time, fires over to Gehrig, and that's your ball game, folks. Yankees sweep the series, win this game 7-2. Take a look here at the box score. So the Yankees 7 runs on 7 hits. The Orioles 2 runs on 3 hits. Believe it or not, folks, the only Yankee with 2 hits is the pitcher, Jack CHESBRO. 2 for 4 today. Yankees were 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position. 3 of the 4 hits were homers. Tony, Ruth, and Joe. Ruth got hit by a pitch. The Yankees only left 5 men on base. And the Orioles 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position. The only big hit was the Clift homer in the second. Tied this game up at 2-2 at the time. Orioles only left 4 men on base. Jack CHESBRO goes 8 innings, picks up the win. He's 3-1. 3 hits, 2 runs, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts, and a homer. And Pencock comes in 1 inning. And for the Orioles, Jack Powell picks up his 4th loss. He's 0-4, 6 2/3, 7 hits, 7 runs, 4 walks, struck out 6, and gave up 3 homers. The bullpen did their job. Gray comes in, pitches an inning and a third. Milt Pappas an inning, and he struck out 1. And let's take a look now at the standings and the leaderboard in the American League. And the Yankees are now a game and a half up on the Tigers and Indians. The White Sox are 3 games back. Senators 3.5. Red Sox 4. Athletics are 5. And the Orioles now, after losing 6 in a row, are 5.5 games back in last place. And you got Ted Williams leading the American League with a .463 batting average. Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth are tied with 9 home runs. And Ted Williams still with the 18 RBIs leading the American League. And Bob Shalkey with that .4 ERA. Now Jack CHESBRO's tied with Eddie Walsh for 3 wins. And Joe Page with 5 saves on the year. And Lou Gehrig's leading in the MVP voting. And Ed Walsh with the lead in the Best Pitcher Award. Lou Gehrig's hitting .412 in his last 10 games. Ted Williams 400 in his last 7 with 13 RBIs and scored 7. Joe Adcock hitting .323, 8 games with 12 RBIs and 10 runs. Willie Mays hitting .303 in his last 9 games, 12 RBIs and 7 runs. And Ray Boone .333 in his last 7 games, 12 RBIs and 7 runs. And on the mound, Eddie Josh with a .5 ERA in 18 innings. His last 18 innings. Dick Rudolph a 1 ERA in his last 18. Carl Mays a 1.4 in 8 2/3. Sam Gray a 1.29 in his last 7 innings, and Mel Harder, a 1.29 in his last 7 innings. I want to thank everybody for stopping by here today and watching the final game of this 3-game series. The next game on the channel in the Bats League, I believe it's going to be the Braves and the Cardinals. Let's take a look here. Yep, the Braves and the Cardinals. We're going to have Kid Nicholas against Beckons. So tune in for that. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell for reminders. And on your way out of Baltimore, hit that like button and leave a comment. Till next time, you all have a great day and take care.